What is up, good people? Spot of Nerd here with another attempt at doing a live stream, and I'm gonna. I think I'm getting better at this. You probably have noticed I've been able to change the background. My phone is going off because it is telling me that I'm also streaming it through YouTube, but because I don't trust the interwebs, you're going to have to bear with me here for just a moment. I want to make sure that it is actually working through here. Because you can imagine if I did a whole spiel and then there's absolutely no audio or nothing. So let's just triple dog check. Hey, it is working. But the video is not coming through. Okay, so we got to figure out the video. Maybe this will do it. It is working, but the video is not coming through. Okay, so we got to figure out the video. See, this is just trial and error. Okay, there it is. So, okay, cool. This is working. For anybody that's ever done stuff like this, I'm old and I don't understand it. And that's okay. It's a learning process. But in the end, we get there. So, yeah, but Cliff Notes. There's a lot of shit to deal with this stuff. Microphone, camera, background, titles, video thing in the beginning, wallpaper, the whole 9 yards. But with time, we're going to get better. And I hope you will join me. I hope you will bear with me. And I hope you'll stay with it. And just the usual crap. If you haven't already, I would love you so much. Go ahead and follow, subscribe where you can, and of course, like and comment. I'd love to know your take on the movies that we're going to discuss, the things that we're discuss, because of course we're going to talk about politics at the end. I figured we would talk about Jurassic Park Rebirth currently. I know it's a little bit late because the movie came out on Wednesday, but then I figured we would talk about it is the 4th of July. Technically, it's July 5th right now, but just go with me because I had planned to do this July 4th, but I also had to work, and then I'm just procrastinating to get back onto here. So, yeah. Anyway, other stuff to get over and done with. Yes, there's going to be spoilers if you don't want to know about Jurassic World Rebirth. I recommend going and watching it, and then of course coming back to here. You aren't missing very much, and we'll go into that just a little bit here in a moment. But then at the end, like I said, we're going to talk about it is the 4th of July, and it is America's Pride Month, and I think it's a great time because it's time we stop being afraid to celebrate this. It's time we stop fearing whatever. I don't know what the word is right now to think of, but we need to be proud of this country, and we need to be proud of the fact that we live in the greatest country. And if you don't think that, that's perfectly okay. That's your opinion. But at the same time, I would encourage you, maybe you should go wherever you feel better off, because if you hate it so much here, why are you here? Tell me, literally, let's have a conversation about, instead of everything is wrong about America, everything sucks about America. Great. What would you do differently? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Like, why are you not making that happen? So you can imagine what we'll get into in that discussion. But all jokes aside, all seriousness aside, again, this is just kind of, I think it's a better way to do things almost. I'm almost thinking this might be the future for this channel, Spot of Nerd. And albeit, again, I'm a pebble on a beach in terms of channels that are out there in the world, in the atmosphere, and whatever other technical mumbo jumbo that I can't think of right now. So it's just a hell of a lot easier to do this. It really, really is. Versus if you look at the description below, that way. I've already filmed a review on this film, and it was just shit. It was absolute garbage. I recorded it around 3, 4 in the morning, and it was just shit. It was absolutely shit. So, but I had to get something out because it is the weekend, and of course, people are going to go and see Jurassic World Rebirth, and I figured we needed to talk about it because here's where let's do the old screen sharing thingamabobber here. That way, at least you don't necessarily have to look at me. You can watch Scarlet this way, there, over here. But yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know how I feel about this film. I just don't. I really don't know because let's be very, very clear. This movie is absolute ass. It is trash, it's garbage, it's everything in between because this is like the 23rd Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World. I don't even know what to call it anymore. And I mean, I will give them credit. They're going in different directions. They're giving us different things, different dinos, blah 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 blah. But ultimately, in the end of the day, the biggest what ruins this film, like with every other major kind of studio film, like Marvel, DC, Jurassic World, it's a giant fucking green screen. That's all this movie is a giant fucking green screen, and it ruins it because, listening to some of these other reviewers, these more bigger, higher popular verbs that I don't know, nouns I don't know what to use, but these bigger folks that are talking about it are making a lot more sense than I am in relation to the fact that when you think back to those original Jurassic Park films, they led into like a suspense. In the first film, you don't see a dinosaur for the first hour because they're leading you into the suspense of you're about to see a real dinosaur. Lo and behold, you get the Bronchiosaurus or the big ass fucking long neck thing, and it's an amazing shot. Steven Spielberg, I mean, it's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful shot in Jurassic Park, and Grant turns the head of the gal and blah 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 blah. So when you get to this stage of the Jurassic World uh movie thing, again, words that I can't think of. If you know this channel, you know me, you know that I don't really do words well. Hopefully soon I'm going to have somebody be joining me on that to be better at this. But when you get to this point, when you have, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9 films, something like that, it's you're not going to have suspense anymore. You're not going to have the thrill. You're not going to have the shock and awe, and quite frankly, you're just going to have a repeated, recycled story, and that is literally what this film is. So that's where I'm kind of torn because number one, it's just dog shit. It's a pile of ass. It's the same green screen. It's the same reused clips from previous films or other films just mashed up into this film. I'm literally even seeing the trailer that way. Like if you look up at this trailer, they're kind of doing a behind the sscenes thing, and it's just CGI. That's all this film is, and you're not really in shock and awe anymore. So where does that mean? Words. Where do you go from there? I mean, honestly, where do you go from there? But it is very popular. It is already making a shit ton of money, and that's good because you also need these films because if it's just something to go see in the theaters, if you're a fan of dinosaurs, if you're a fan of just the crazy things that dinosaurs get up to, from the original Jurassic Park film to Jurassic World with Chris Pratt, these films are just dog shit, but it's just fun to go and watch. They're like the Fast and Furious movies. They're truly dog shit, but at the same time, they're dog shit, but you still go and see it anyway. So it kind of makes it up, I guess, makes up for it or something like that. But so, albeit enough of the verbal diarrhea, the quick synopsis of Jurassic World Rebirth. Again, odds are many of you have probably seen the trailer. If you haven't, it's playing right now, and then sponsored by, I don't really have a sponsor, but Dr. Pepper is my god. So, Cliff Notes, Jurassic World Rebirth. If you're familiar with the Jurassic World, I'm just going to call them the Pratt trilogy. You had I think it was like InGen or something. They were creating the dinosaurs. They obviously created this food epidemic with the ginormous crickets. They were going to try to control the food population, and they got taken out or something like that. It's like they got caught out. So we go into the future, and actually, wait, no, back that up just a smidge. They actually start off the film 17 years ago in the beginning of the Jurassic World era. So we're not talking about Jurassic Park. We're simply focusing on Chris Pratt's Jurassic World, and they're giving you that kind of backstory or something like that, to where you get to see when they're first starting to create the dinosaurs for Jurassic World. Albeit, and we're going to talk about something pretty funny here in a minute, where you had, they do basically, they kind of like they mix breed some of these dinosaurs, and as some of these like Nerdrotic on YouTube and on here Rumble, you've seen it in the trailer, that one, that dinosaur that's got the big dome and it's got like 6 arms or something like that. It's some of the funniest. Like, the internet wins always when it comes to this type of stuff, because I have to be very careful. I have a job, but the dino that has been, let's just say, was not created properly, is called the. I'm quoting, simply quoting, and I'm simply quoting a dinosaur name, nothing more. It was like the Durkasaurus or something like that. So if you know, you know. But again, it's just a dinosaur name and nothing more. So just go with that. But so yeah, 17 years. They start off with the early stages of Jurassic World, and a Snickers wrapper. I shit you not, people. A Snickers candy bar wrapper literally destroys the entire facility, and everything goes to hell. And I swear to God, that's literally how they start this film. Is a Snickers wrapper basically creates this island of hybrid mixed race dinos, I guess, or something. I don't know what the word to use. But then you get to present day. But the present day is after the events of Jurassic World Dominion. Now, Jurassic World Dominion kind of sets the continuation of dinosaurs mixing back in with the human culture. But in this film, this is where I have that internal battle of, is this a good film or is this a shitty film? Yes, it's a shitty film, but is it a shitty film, or is it a shitty good film? In this film, basically, dinos, they're dying off. They're just, there's not enough oxygen, there's not enough plants life, blah 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 blah. And of course they go down the climate change bullshit. We'll get into that here as well. But ultimately, they're not focusing. The whole, collaboration of humans and dinosaurs doesn't exist in this world. And I kind of actually like that storytelling, because they're just focusing on the fact that the only place dinosaurs survive now is near the equator. Apparently it's oxygen rich, even though that's total bullshit, because scientifically it's the poles that where you have oxygen rich climates. So again, they're telling you a lie right out of the gate, even though they're preaching climate change to you throughout this entire movie. They can't even get their own facts straight. So we'll just say that. But so the whole plan is, you have bad guy who is a part of the pharmaceutical companies, shocking, who needs Scarlet to basically go to this island, and he's going to take his doctor friend because they need blood samples. These blood samples will hopefully help human society in relation to heart disease and everything else. Just like with everything, money, 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 money. Once they get these blood samples, it is going to not only make them bazillion dollars and create more billion dollars for the pharmaceutical people, but this is the story. Then you have this other side story that, I swear to God, if you literally took this entire story out of it, you could have the exact same film. You have this family who's on a sailboat, who is literally traveling across the ocean, and a dinosaur, of course, takes them out. For some reason, tries to hunt them, and lo and behold, you have this family that are stranded in the ocean, and Scarlet and crew needs to go rescue them because they're good souls. It's just, of course, they're going to merge the story like that. And this is where the movie kind of just goes down the shitter. It's, that's where the chaos ensues. That's where they get to the island. That's where the dinosaurs start, all this other craziness starts happening. And it's just, there's zero character development. There is absolutely zero. There is non-existent. The way I kind of thought about it too was with Scarlett Johansson. I have mad respect for her. I love her as an actress. I mean, she's 40, she's beautiful, she's a gorgeous gal. And I kind of think of it like Anthony Mackie with the Captain America film. She just can't hold a feature length movie. She doesn't have the strength. And what's really disappointing too, similar to the Captain America film, she doesn't have the supporting cast to give her that strength to make what this movie could and should have been. And I'm a broken record. It's Spot of Nerd. It's what we do here. But that's again that kind of that battle between, is it a shitty good or is it a shitty shitty movie? Because albeit they are trying new things, we get to see the T-Rex sleeping, and at the same time it swims, and we also get to see the raft scene, which if you ever read the books, it's in there. But again, ultimately it's a giant green screen. It's a green fuck, and it really is tragic because it takes away from everything else. You are simply focused on the fact that 99% of this fucking film is filmed in front of a green screen, and it doesn't look good at all. It looks like absolute dog shit. It is mind-blowing to me, but in a ironic kind of sense, that you can literally go back to the 1993 Jurassic Park film and it is still produced visually 10,000 times better than this movie in 2025. It's stupid. It is genuinely stupid, and not to mention that this movie probably cost twice as much to make. I just cannot. I still can't fathom that shit. It blows my freaking mind. So they're on the island. They're getting their blood samples. The family, there's a mix up and they got split up. So it literally is there's just two stories. There's Scarlett and them trying to get the blood samples, and then there's this family who got lost on the island just trying to survive, and everybody's trying to make it to this rescue point where Scarlett had a helicopter. She's got a helicopter waiting, and then it's gonna take them off. But again, without boring you to tears, which maybe you already are, and I appreciate you hanging tight with me, it just, again, there's nothing that really makes this movie, oh my god, I need more, I want to see it more, I want more story, I have, odds are they're going to make a sequel. Let's be very clear, they will likely make a sequel to this film. Lord fucking knows how they're going to do that. I really don't have a clue where you're going to take this movie, because again, this movie has no direction whatsoever. It's dinosaurs are dying. We need some blood samples to go help out humans. We're going to go to this island. Scarlet is this this um assassin for hire. She's basically James Bond, and she has this crew that she takes again with her to the island to help out. This doctor guy who gets the blood samples is the usual suspect of climate change. So yeah, let's just briefly get into that. Obviously, they're going to shove that shit down your throat any chance they can in this movie about how humans suck. We've destroyed the planet and we've only been around for 200,000 years, even though everything else has been around for millions of years. You're a horrible person. The world sucks. We're going to destroy ourselves eventually. Blah, 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 blah. It just makes you, just the eye rolls, just, yeah. You can imagine where I want to go there. But does it ruin the film? Not necessarily, because there's only little tidbits here and there. You roll your eyes and you move on to the next scene. So the end of the film comes along, and albeit that's really pretty much it. They get to the end of the film, and that's when you're finally introduced to the Durka And so you get about maybe 5-10 minutes of that, and there's like this fight sequence with these new flying raptor things, which are kind of cool, I guess. And the movie just wraps up. And this is my favorite part, and I'm being totally sarcastic. The way they end the film, they find a boat on the island, and apparently that boat has still got gas in it, still operates perfectly fine, even though it's been 17 fucking years, but it's perfectly fine. And then they just swim out into the ocean. And you're wondering, okay, whatever. No, here's the thing. That island is like 400 miles plus from any of society anywhere in the world. So this little dinghy has probably enough gas to go 20, 30 miles and is going to probably crap out. These people, Scarlett and family and everybody else, are probably 400 miles plus away from anything on the planet. So where are you going? I just don't understand. I really, albeit again, I know this is all fake and fictional, but even you could try just a little bit. Maybe they get a bigger boat. No pun intended. Jaws pun. If you get it, if you get it. But yeah, and that's it. And then the credits roll. Hardly anybody dies in this film. And another thing that does ruin it, and I have to give credit to again other channels like Nerdrotic and their Friday Night Tights, where I was kind of listening to their review on this. It's movies like this that when you bring in the politics, when you bring in the agendas, the wokeness, they're afraid to do anything that's going to upset, I guess, the characters, the story, whatever you want to call it, because lo and behold, you have this family. You have the dad, the daughter, two daughters, one's older, one's a kid, and then you have the boyfriend. Let's just say this family are pretty similar. And of course, you know for a fact they are not going to kill off any of them, because if they did kill them off, that would be considered insert usual worldly bullshit that we see everywhere in our social media. Now, at the same time, with Scarlett's crew, anybody that doesn't have more than 2 sentences clearly is going to die as well. So that's where, again, this movie is predictable as getting diarrhea on Taco Tuesday. It's just pretty much going to happen. So there's really not much getting, you're not going to get away from it, other than the fact that you can pretty much tell how this movie's going to go from 2 minutes in. It's a 2.5 hour movie. You don't even get started until an hour into the fucking movie. So you can imagine that first hour. Go to the bathroom, check your phone, whatever you're going to, if you're seeing this in theaters, because the only cool shit starts happening literally about an hour in. So if you take away even just the family side of it, make this a 90-minute film, this actually would have been pretty decent. But lo and behold, here we are. And as far as, if you know me, Spot of Nerd, you know this channel. Realistically, I'd give this maybe one. It might get 2 cups of tea. Maybe get 2 cups of tea out of 4 from yours truly, Spot of Nerd. Just in regards to the fact that, like I said, shockingly enough, this is a different movie. It's a different story. It's a different take on the Jurassic World Park era. It just is, it's presented in a way that is just tragically horrific, from dialogue, characters, visually, so on and so forth. There's just nothing that keeps you going back to it. You just don't care at all. The only reason you're continuing to watch is because it's something different. It's something you haven't seen before. Look, Chris Pratt is not in this movie. Scarlett Johansson is. Let's see what they do with this. And you're kind of waiting for something to happen, but nothing ever does. And then the credits roll, and you're like, wow. So I just wasted 2.5 hours of my life. 25 minutes of previews if you saw it in theaters. And that's it. It really is just kind of like, would I recommend you go see it? I mean, maybe if you have one of those monthly passes for theaters. Beyond that, I can promise you folks, it would probably be best if you just wait for the streaming, because let's be honest, 3-4 weeks down the road, this shit's going to be on streaming. And I'll kind of just leave it at that. So that way we can kind of wrap things up. It's getting a little bit late. I appreciate those that have watched. I know it's very few of you, but I appreciate you regardless either way. Hold on. So let's wrap up. See if I can go back to, see if I can do this properly here. I think I'm doing this right. Let me see if I'm doing this right. I don't trust technology, so that's why I'm making sure I just check on my phone too real quick here. Hey, yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's wrap this up with something positive, but also something political. And I'm giving the fair warning of the politics because let's be honest, most people don't want to talk politics or they roll their eyes and everything else in between. And especially when somebody like me, who is a Trump supporter, if you don't know that, you now do, and feel free to disappear like most people. But today is the 4th of July. I mean, like I said, technically it's July 5th, but it's July 4th. It's America's birthday, and it's a time for celebration. It really, really is. We live in the greatest country on the planet. I do not care what anybody else thinks. And like anybody else's opinion, it's like your booty hole. Everybody has it, everybody uses it. So be it. My opinion is I think America is the greatest country on the planet. It provides so much and does so many incredible things for the world. It is not perfect by any means. There is not a name one single country that is perfect. It doesn't exist. There's nothing that is perfect about anybody or anything or any other nation on the planet. But something that America does do right. It does do right by humans as a whole, by your freedom to do and be whoever you want to be. No other nation allows you to do that. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe it is the 249th birthday of America today. If I'm wrong, correct me on that, but I do believe next year is the 250th birthday. That's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to see what Trump will do. But I just, the reason I'm bringing this up, and I'm just going to bring it up briefly, is because we need to stop being afraid of being proud of this nation. You know, for years we were silenced, people like me, even to this very day. Like, without going down too much of a road that I got to tread carefully because I enjoy receiving health benefits and a paycheck. But let's just say that there's a place of employment that I might potentially hypothetically go to. Not a single mention, not a single mention whatsoever of July 4th, America's birthday. Now, you can imagine last month, every single day, there was something. It was about, we got to learn about somebody, something, X, Y, Z, every single day. There was one day today, July 4th, America's birthday, and not a single mention of it. Now, obviously, you could imagine the topic was around it. And of course, that topic was about how fireworks are horrible and most of these people are horrible here that, support what we're doing and support the president and blah, 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 blah. And it's something you just get used to. Let's be honest, where I currently live, it's a very blue place, and I don't have any ill will towards that, other than the fact that somebody like basically who has my viewpoints, who supports who I support, I'm not going to probably align a lot with the people that are here. That doesn't mean I'm going to be what the usual media says you are, like insert ism, phobic, blah, 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 blah. Quite frankly, everything you hear or see and or read is the opposite, in fact. Quite frankly, for those of you that know me, you know I'm a pretty badass dude. I think so anyway. But ultimately, what it comes down to is we are done tiptoeing around, you know, America is horrible and shit and blah, 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 blah. We're done. We are literally over it. And we are no longer going to sit back and simply allow you to just shit all over it. You can. That's one of the best things about this country. You literally are allowed to shit all over this country. It's your God-given right. It's your God-given freedom to do that. But it's also my God-given right and my God-given freedom to basically tell you just how awesome this place really is. And I think that's the most important thing about all of this, is because we need to start getting back to the point where we can have differences, but at the same time, we can still be human beings. I've said this 1,000 times on this channel, and if you know it, just go back and watch some of my other stuff. That's the best part about America, is that you can have different viewpoints, but you can all still come together as one and treat each other and be the best that you can possibly be. there's so many debates and so many roads we can go down about like America was built on immigrants or blah 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 in that direction. And yeah, it was. But also today we have to abide by the law. We have to do it the right way. I myself, as mentioned in many episodes, I am currently working on my dual citizenship so I can be an American citizen and I can represent my UK citizenship. I'm very proud to be British, but I also am a very proud American even without being an American. It's because, again, I'm so patriotic that I love what this country is and I love what it is able to provide the world. It's freedom, it's awesomeness, it's everything in between, and it's the last resort to basically chaos and insanity, if you ask me. It's weird, I know, I get it, but cut a very long story short, America is fucking awesome. President Trump is fucking awesome. The man has done more for this country in less than a year than most of these past people have done in decades. And facts matter. You can go down that list of talking points and right wing, left wing, blah, blah, blah. Case in point, what it comes down to is their entire job is to split. And people are, if you can hear that in the background, are still shooting off fireworks. It's about 1 a.m., so I apologize for that. But anyway, just making sure to shut off. Anyway, what I'm getting at is there's no reason we can't start talking to each other again. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up in the 90s. Believe it or not, we were able to have differences of opinions on X, Y, and Z, and we were still best friends. We need to stop this bullshit about how if you believe this, then you must be that. If you have this, then I can't do this. It's such bull. It's so pathetic to even just think about and talk about now, where, oh, you like Star Trek? Oh, that sucks. I only like Star Wars. We can't be friends. It's so stupid. Even just saying it sounds stupid as hell. So enough is enough. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not going to fake it anymore. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the best person that I can possibly be. But at the same time, I'm going to show that support. I'm going to wear the hats. I'm going to support the flag. I'm going to honor those that have given their lives to make sure that you and I have everything we've ever wanted: food, shelter, lots of cool shit, material, action figures, technology, blah, 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 blah. But just the freedom to be a human being. At the end of the day, we all are human beings. And for the love of God, we need to start getting back to respecting each other because it's the only way we're going to move forward. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds because I think now is the time. It's the first time in history where more people are waking up to the fact that the politics is bullshit. The division is bullshit. XYZ is bullshit. It's time we start coming together and we start talking to each other because that's the only way it's going to work. If we don't start talking to each other, then we're just going to go down a road none of us wants to go. So I'll simply just leave you with that message. I know it's probably just verbal diarrhea, but it is what it is. I hope and I pray that you enjoyed this live spiel thingamabob. Next week, we have Superman. Now, real quick, I've been hearing a lot of negativity around Superman, not just from myself, but there's been some screenings, I guess, of people that have already gotten the chance to see it. This movie, it ain't looking so hot, but I will obviously be checking it out and I'll let you guys know my 2 cents when it does eventually come out. And then we're 3 weeks, I think, from San Diego Comic-Con. It is going to be epic. I cannot wait for that shit. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. I know I have verbal diarrhea. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But again, we'll get better with time. And until then, though, we will catch you guys in the next live episode stream thingamabob.